Sure. First thing we have is the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Commissioner Horwitz, can you lead us in that today?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Yes. Commissioner Hoverts,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanders,
Aye.
Commissioner Waggy, Commissioner Waggy. I see you.
You're on mute, Bill.
Vice Chair Acey
Here.
and Chair Shanahan.
Here. Agenda review, any changes, deletions?
Yes, Chair, Commission members, Steve Ledson of Ledson Construction has requested that his item be removed and rescheduled to the next hearing. He's his winery's down there where the glass fire was, and he's been dealing with that. And this was kind of a last minute, but it's totally understandable. We did schedule this as a public hearing. We sent out the notice and did the newspaper. So we couldn't just cancel the meeting without having it open. I was going to suggest that we continue it to a date certain, which would be November 3rd, which I also was going to suggest, which is later in the agenda, that we cancel that meeting because it's election day. And if the chair and commission agree to cancel that meeting, then we'll have to look for a day the following week for a special meeting. And I can send out an email asking people what would be a good day. If we do that, then we'll resend out the notice. So folks who are interested in this project will know the day, since it's not our normally scheduled day. They still have an opportunity to submit written comments on the project. So with that, we're requesting that this item be moved to the next meeting, which will be, if the commission agrees that we want to cancel November 3rd, it will be likely the week after that or some early time in November. The other option, of course, is we do have the November 3rd meeting, and then we would continue this item to that date.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to the public comment period. Under this item, citizens may speak on matters within the Planning Commission's jurisdiction which are not on the agenda. The Planning Commission is prohibited under public meeting law from taking action on matters that are not on the agenda. However, the Commission may take citizens' input under advisement, direct staff to place the matter on future agenda for discussion and/or possible action, or refer matters to staff for follow-up. Members of the public may comment on any matter not on this agenda, and please limit comments to 3 minutes. To make a public comment, use the raised hand icon on your smart device or desktop computer, or dial *9 if you're using just your telephone.
Hands are raised, Chair.
We have hands?
No hands.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we move on to consent calendar. We only have one item there, minutes review of our regular meeting, September 1st, 2020. I'd like to have a motion to approve minutes.
Aye. I can make the motion.
Okay, could I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes. Commissioner Waggy,
Bill, you might want to call in on your phone because we can't hear you.
yeah, I see you're unmuted, but we can't hear.
There's a phone number you can try. Maybe it's because I'm using earphones.
Yeah.
Oh, I
We
think
can
we
hear you
can
now,
hear you.
Bill.
Okay, I had earphones in, so that's probably why.
You might want to repeat the motion or the vote.
So for, oh, go ahead.
Yes for the minutes or aye for the minutes?
Okay, thank you. And then we have Vice Chair AC,
Aye.
Commissioner Hovarts,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanders,
Aye.
and Chair Shanahan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. So public hearing, item number 2, consider design review, general plan, land use, zoning for the Letson project. So as we heard, we have an agenda change and the applicant's unable to make it, so we would have to move this to our next meeting if that's agreeable with you guys. If so, I would need a motion from somebody to move to our next
Yeah.
meeting.
I move to push this item to the next meeting with the intention that there's a potential that November meeting would have to be having a special meeting.
Okay, could I have a second, please?
A second.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanders,
So there's nobody that wants to discuss this at all? There's nobody in the waiting room, nothing, nowhere?
That's a good point, Eric.
yeah, that's correct. No
Okay.
hands are raised for this item, and
Okay, then I vote aye.
Commissioner Hovarts,
Aye.
Commissioner Waggy,
Aye.
Vice Chair AC,
Aye.
and Chair Shanahan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so that takes us to item number 3, non-public hearing, which is cancellation of our November 3rd meeting to move to a additional date for a special meeting. So we heard the options earlier. Are we all in the?
Yeah. I move that we change this date. It's obviously a very important date for our country. So I move that we find another date near that, because I don't want to delay the developer too long, and hopefully by then he'll be out of fire risk, but sometime after November 3rd.
Okay, could I have a second, please?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Yes, Vice Chair AC,
Aye.
Commissioner Waggy,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanders,
Aye.
Commissioner Hovarts,
Aye.
and Chair Shanahan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I will send out an email asking with some potential dates. We do have council meetings the following week, so we may do a Tuesday, Wednesday planning commission council combo, which we've done in the past. But I'll send an email to everyone, go home and check their calendars and let me know.
Okay. So that moves us to other business, which we have none. Moves up to the planner's report, communications.
All right, I'm going to take a little time to update the commission on some projects. Just today, we received the Dry Creek Rancheria annexation subdivision. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but it came in this afternoon. We've been talking about that project. That's the Dry Creek Rancheria, and it's south of the school site. So that kind of continues our progression of annexations to the south. At the same time, we are working on our infrastructure study. We have our consultant GHD that's been working diligently with staff's help to assess all the whatever's going to be needed down there to serve these projects. In terms of sewer, water, traffic, dry utilities, electric, everything. So it's going to really give us a good understanding of what we need to condition these projects to install to serve their projects, and in some cases, the next project down the road, if appropriate. So that that'll be coming to the planning commission. It's not, I'm not going to say it's done, but it's, you know, they're working on it. It's been a long process, but we'll certainly have a look at that when that's completed. Wellness center, I don't have much of an update. I sent an email to the attorney today asking where we were with the development agreement, and I haven't heard. Hopefully that's moving forward. In terms of its planning application, it's looking really good. We have really nice plans they put together, and we're really looking forward to bringing that to the planning commission. It's just we need to get this development agreement buttoned up. You know, that includes the sale of the property from the city to the wellness center and infrastructure needs. Just an update on Baumgartner Ranch. I know that the planning commission spent a lot of time reviewing the project and gave some great comments that the applicant was made some good changes, made it a better project. Since it did get through the planning commission hearing, you know, the city council did make a few changes to the project. I'm sure that many of you read about it in the paper. At the mayor's request, they were really interested in having a park in that area. So there was some negotiation with the developer who agreed to eliminate 8 single-family homes in lieu of a park. And so the details still are not done. And there's some talk of the developer potentially having a crack at some Times Square, at developing at Times Square, but we really haven't gotten into the details, and it's kind of still in a negotiation phase at this point. But the fact is the developer did agree to eliminate 8 parcels of the single family to build a park. We're still negotiating with him in terms of if he's willing to help construct the park. And there's definitely negotiations in terms of, you know, what he's going to be paying in park fees and would that be used for the park. And I know there's been a lot of discussion in town and on social media about sewer and water regarding these projects. And I am at the next meeting, we might have a pretty full meeting if we're going to have this project. And I'm asking the public works director to put together a presentation on where we stand with sewer and water. We have studies that have been completed that are not that old, indicating how much water we have. We can take a look at that so the commission can have a really good understanding of where we are with sewer and water capacity. So you can sort of not be worried that we're overextending our systems, which we are not. But we're going to dive into that a little deeper. And then we can also take a look at our capital improvement plan. It's not completed, but some of those projects in the capital improvement plan are designed to provide more sewer and water. So some of those, and in the capital improvement plan, it's a 5-year plan. Some are in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll take a look at those and how those impact our sewer and water. So we're looking forward to presenting that, and I think it'll be really good for the commission to hear that. And so this was really Commissioner Hasey's idea, and I appreciate him bringing it forward. It's something that I think we need to do, and that way we can really be confident that when we're looking at these projects that the sewer and water is not an issue. Along with that presentation at the next meeting, if Rafael and I can pull it off, we're going to give you a housing element overview. We've been talking about this for a while, but we've actually started gathering some PowerPoints from other places. A lot of the same rules apply to our city as they do in every city. So like the basic idea of behind the housing element, the basic rules all apply. So we've got some PowerPoints that we're going to put together and customize it to Cloverdale and give you an update on that. So Rafael, did I miss anything? You there?
Just add on the Baumgartner part, I did receive, it looks like they're working on their application for LAFCO, so they're moving forward with that, obviously. Got an email from their engineer just asking about city possibly reviewing some of the application materials before they actually submit to LAFCO. So looks like that ball is definitely still rolling forward.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think we've received any other applications. The big one again would be the Dry Creek Rancheria, and
yeah,
We've been talking about it. I haven't seen it. They actually physically dropped it off at City Hall, and I haven't been there today. So we'll dive into that one and get that rolling. I don't know if you know anything else about it, Rafael, but we've been in discussions with the applicant. I think based on what we've heard from them, it sounds like it's a better project than it originally kind of designed as just like a straight subdivision. It seems like there's a little more creativity to it now, but
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they resubmitted it. Bruce, I think he may have actually dropped something off at City Hall, but I told him I was trying to save him a trip. I told him just to mail, one set, and since we're pretty much doing a lot of this through Zoom now, I think we might be able to get away with just PDF plans. So he was going to send me a link, but he hadn't sent it yet this afternoon. So, but anyway, yeah, they did. I think when they were describing it to us, it sounds like they did move it around a little bit. So work with the land a little bit more, and it's created
really,
this a little bit more a nice project.
Yeah, it's critical that we get the infrastructure study done, and so that's why the council did make a pretty big financial investment in this study. We are going to try to potentially recoup some of the costs as projects develop, since we're kind of laying down the studies that are required. One of the big issues on the south end is the sewer gravity feed. I'm probably not saying that right, but the gravity pretty much ends at the co-op and Eric, Commissioner Sanders probably knows more about this than I do, but there is a lift station that's going to be required down there, which in our discussions with the Dry Creek Ranchery, they're willing to put that in to serve their project and would serve other projects in the area. So I just want to let the commission know that we do analyze the infrastructure needs on these projects. Certainly they go through a lot of analysis, and it goes through both our public works department as well as our consulting engineers for review. So that we're going to try to really hammer that home at the next meeting when we will give you an overview of the sewer and water situation in town.
That's it. We're good. Raphael, anything?
I think that pretty much covers the update for now.
Okay. Okay, just for record, I want to show that Bob Cox has joined us. Commissioner Cox is alternate. So,
Mr. Chair, just a note. I tried logging on right at 6:25 and nothing happened. So I've had to come around and kind of back my way into it. Sorry about that.
I'm glad you made it. Okay, do we have any direction, planning commissioners, to the staff?
Could I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
I would like to have a clearer picture of what the plans are with the south end of Cloverdale Boulevard and the freeway entrance there. And I think seriously also should be included Dutcher Creek on-ramp, even though it's county. From a traffic standpoint, it seems to me that that whole area is going to be quite impacted by the development, and I'd like to see what the plans are to deal with that.
The scope of the infrastructure study that's currently underway goes pretty far to the south. I don't remember if it includes Dutcher Creek exit, but it includes most and all of our sphere of influence, which, if you look on the general plan map, you'll see it goes pretty far. But I'll take a look at that, Commissioner Waggy, and maybe I can get some input from our public works director. But that's a good point, and that's the whole point of this study that we're having done by a professional engineering company.
But if there's improvements that are required that come out of this infrastructure study, are they going to be paid for by the developers, or are they going to be the city's?
Well, the way we envisioned this, and it's in flux a little bit, I would say, but this is the first part of this two-part exercise on the south end. The first part is understanding the needs. Okay, we're going to need a sewer lift station here. We're going to need a 2-lane road here. We're going to need to bring 12-inch water and sewer down this way. Understanding what that is. And one of the big questions about figuring that out was really, we have a land use designation. And so we talked to the developer quite a bit. And my first reaction was, normally they would just look at the land use designation and say, okay, this is designated for single family. This is for, industrial, commercial. And from that, they can derive demands on water and sewer, traffic, all of those things. But if you take, for example, the Baumgartner Ranch, they did do a zoning change. And then the school potentially, so then the problem with that is that you're kind of speculating to say, well, this is zoned industrial, but it might be commercial. And we did go down that road a little bit with the consultant. And at the end of the day, it was that the demand wouldn't be much greater given the different uses. And once we understand what the demand is, we will have some ability to, factor in maybe a little bit more demand if it was to change from, say, single family to multifamily. But one of their first questions is what's the land use assumptions down there? Because we're going to base all of our traffic modeling and everything else on those land uses, which makes total sense. What's going to go here? Oh, it's commercial. It's going to be a hotel. Well, that's going to be a higher demand than single family homes. But I think I got off topic there a little bit, Commissioner Waggy. But we are looking at it, and I'll check that out and see if that intersection is included. I mean, typically those intersections are Caltrans, and we don't normally condition projects to improve Caltrans infrastructure. The projects get routed to Caltrans, for comment. But we'll take a look at it, and it's a good point. So I'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Kevin, I have a quick question also. If you could give us an update on the status of the water systems on the south end of town, South Cloverdale Water, 6 Acres, and I forget the name of it, but the other one that's got the well at the airport. It serves over by Teresa Drive and that.
Yeah. Well, I can let you know what I know, Commissioner Sanders. We're still negotiating with 6 Acres.
Okay.
And they're very interested in annexing into the city, as is the South Cloverdale Water District, which is just directly to the south of them.
Right.
So we have been going back and forth quite a bit over the course of a long time. And really what it's coming down to is it's pretty expensive. 6 Acres has a well that's on, you guys all know where the 6 Acres is. It's maybe you can just describe it, Commissioner Sanders.
It's between the wastewater plant and Santana Lane on the east side of Asti Road.
So if you're driving south on Cloverdale Boulevard, if you look to the east, there's kind of that area there. There's no sidewalk. That's actually not in town. And
Well, yeah, that's where the houses are that it serves. So it will be just past the trailer or the mobile home park, Briarwood, and then from there on over to almost where the IROC gravel place is, right? And the well for that, I believe, is on the other side of Asti Road on the east side. So it goes under the freeway over there.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about in the 6 Acres case, the state has come in and said this water is inadequate. You need to either drill a new well or annex into the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been their option. Their option they're pursuing is to annex into the city. And, there's things there that aren't up to city standards, and we've been kind of, wrangling back and forth about that. And, it's pretty expensive to run sewer and water through there. I think we are making headway. We've been negotiating this agreement for a couple of years now. Right now it's in their hands, and well, one of the things too is there is some grant money to help bring some sewer and water laterals in. So the South Cloverdale Water District is just started the same process that the 6 acres community started about 3 years ago. So we're going to end up with, an agreement with them as well. There's pros and cons to it. The behind Lyle Lane is 25 acres of vacant land that could be developed, and that could certainly help bring in new infrastructure for those communities. So that's one positive. The one way south of town I've heard about, but I don't know really too much about that one, Commissioner Sanders. If you want me to get an update on that for next time, I can ask our city engineer.
I mean, if you have an opportunity, it's not really that important. I don't even think they're really on the radar yet. But
the other one is the one in the north, and I don't know the name of that community, but kind of the river goes through there.
Yeah, you're talking about the one on Elsie Way or River.
Way
River
north of
Lane.
town, like north of Barnes Lumber.
Yeah, McCrae Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we've received notice that either the county or the state is starting to take an interest in that area, given its proximity to the river and the septics.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
Kevin, I would ask that the city engineer put that on his report for the next meeting, the update on those sewer lines. Kevin, I have a couple other questions. One about the tribal line or the tribal land annexation study that you guys are doing. Will that cover the school district property area? And if so, does that help them start their scope of all their other needs like CEQA and that to try to utilize that land?
Well, I have not seen the tribal application, but the school has to be on board because they're in between the city limits and where they want to annex. Rafael, I don't know if you know anything about that. They've told us all along.
No.
The school.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They've been saying that the school has been part of it all since the beginning, but was kind of the major thing on this resubmittal was actually that, showing them being part of this application for annexation into the city. So, yeah, we're expecting that, and he was saying that they've got them, they got their signatures or their authorization letter, or both. So yeah, that's what we're expecting. I don't know. I think they have to. I guess so they're submitting also a CEQA document, and we're going to peer review it. Kevin, the school, but I'm not sure if the school has to go through a different process for that part, but I'm guessing the school has to go through CEQA just like, the rest of the properties would.
So the school does report to the state architect for all building permits and development review. Where we come in there is their hookups to the sewer and water. But typically they go through the state architect. So, we work with them, we try to, get involved. But we don't have a lot of, we don't really do any approvals for schools being built. But
I didn't know if it assisted them in their progress at all, because I remember in that meeting where we were offered a park in their property if they were ready, and they were nowhere near ready. Their preparation was behind. And so now we're looking at the Baumgartner project, giving up 8 homes, which I know as a city, we need that revenue in property tax and whatever. And we need the revenue just in our businesses. But so you take away 8 homes to put in a park, and who's paying for that park? Do you know, Kevin, is that a city park or is that one that the developers maintaining?
Well, we're still negotiating, but the project is required to pay a pretty high park fee, which could be used to develop the park. The short answer is the council is expecting the developer to develop the park. The scope of that we haven't really discussed. I mean, what makes the sense? The council was pretty clear that they would like it to be for use of people living in that area. So we have to do some back and forth. I mean, what makes the most sense? Is it like a playground? Is it a community garden, a dog park? And there's going to be a certain tolerance for the developer. If we, after the world, there's going to be some pushback. But we've just really started that discussion. Where we are right now is he's agreed to eliminate the 8 lots on the final map and indicate that that's park. And now we're going through the exercise of, what is the park going to be? The council was pretty clear that they wanted to develop a park and not just a vacant piece of property. To answer your other question, we have begun discussions with Jake. You guys all remember Jake, about a community facilities district, which would be an assessment on each house or each property in the development that would help pay for the ongoing maintenance of the roads, the park, and just the general area.
So it would help maintain the park. That's
ideally we'll community integrated development will develop the park, and then we'll have this community facilities district to pay for the ongoing maintenance of the park. What I can tell you about the park location as proposed is it's contiguous to the almost 7 acres of what he's going to designate as open space. And so it could be combined. I mean, they're right next to each other. So it really could be combined. He said all along that he's willing to give up that 7 acres to any nonprofit or the city, but it could be really nice if he could do more active stuff down on the flat part, and then a trail could go up into the 7 acres and just kind of combine.
That's my recommendation. I know Gus is listening in, and that is that it's unfortunate we gave up 8 homes of revenue and people that could live here, and we're putting in a park that's going to potentially cost us money. But I remember we did a survey months ago, and it might have been on the council meeting, not in a planning commission meeting, and the number 2 item up there was a dog park. And I think utilizing that open space area to have a dog park up in that area where you could have a park tied into it. If we're going to have a park, let's have a park tied with the dog park next to it. But I think I've mentioned this to you and Raphael before. There's in Utah, in Park City, they really well fenced in this park, and you could do that with that size of a parcel. And they turned it into an off-leash hiking trail for dogs. So it was more of a hiking and a dog park. So you're taking care of open space. You're maintaining open space. Very easy to maintain a trail system. It's not expensive for the city. And then you have the ability of having a dog park, which we wanted to check that box off in the city, which we have no dog park. And then at the same time, you're offering more activities outdoors and hiking as well. So it's unfortunate we're putting a park in instead of homes, but at the same time, we should win with that open space area.
Yeah, there's a lot more work to be done on this concept. The big milestone really was him agreeing to designate that area on the final map as a park area.
Last question. Do you have an update on the Alexander Valley Resort or where that status is?
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Pavelka not that long ago. He didn't give me a yes or no. I didn't get a sense that it was too much optimism like we had about a year ago. But it's really it's an approved project. It's been through CEQA, it's been through the city council, the whole thing. So our part is really done. It's really a matter of finding an interested developer who can put up $200 million to build it, and still make sense at the end of the day. So I know Ron's been really marketing it. I don't have a definitive update for you. I'm not sure of the status.
Okay.
Anything else from the commissioners to the staff? Commissioner Cox, you good? Okay. Okay, with that, we're going to adjourn this meeting to our next meeting to be determined. So thank you, everybody, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night.
Thank you.
And so